Mr. Moderator, Reverend Clee, brothers and sisters, friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we had an audience this large and didn't realize that there were some enemies.
Mask on, trying to maneuver through this habitat. COVID through it.
Welcome, everybody. It's the One Against the Grain podcast. I am your host, Brownie Blendz, along with my co-host, Shayla Bang.
Hey, what's up, Brownie?
I'm good. We finally here.
We are finally here.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be in this spot because I know we've been talking about it a long time,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
to actually put some action behind words, I'm with that.
Right, well, let's get into it. This is the initial episode.
This is the beginning.
So
yes.
are we gonna overdo it or what we got going?
Yes, extra.
Let's go in. Let's be extra.
I'm going to be extra.
All right, let's go. Let's go. You get it cracking.
All right, cool. Okay. So first things first, we cannot act like we are not in the middle of a pandemic. And I know you are a businessman. I myself am a businesswoman, and it is COVID, and it has affected a lot of people, including yourselves. But how you been through all of this?
I've been good. Actually, I grew up. I've been looking at, you be on social media, you get to scrolling and things of that nature, and you start to see, a lot of memes going around as far as what you should or should not be doing coming out of COVID and those things. I don't subscribe to any of that.
Okay.
Honestly, it's been great to me. I've been relaxed. It's brought me and my wife closer together. I've tapped in with my kids even more. It's been sensational for me. Of course, we started the podcast. Now look, we're here. You know what I mean? Barbershop's been closed down.
And it allowed you to tap into other things, right?
Facts.
Absolutely. And I know for me, it has been a beautiful thing as well because, I could look at it as it has been something not so good, but, being that.
Why is that?
Because, I do events. I have, so Oakland is my baby, and that has completely shut down. But I also felt like there was this time that I didn't need to put the pressure on myself. I needed to recharge because I was completely exhausted. I was starting to hate what I fell in love with. And so that was a scary feeling. But like you said, this podcast has developed from this. But I can say one thing is being single in this shit. Being single.
Uh-oh, that's another
in this shit. Okay.
What is that? What is that like? But first, before we get to that, I would like to say this is kind of like birth pains, right? I've never given birth. I'm a man, but I'm assuming there's the struggle before the pains, before something new comes to the world. You know what I mean? Something better comes to the world. So it's a blessing in disguise, right?
It's definitely a blessing. I'm not taking that from it. Mm-hmm. I can say that with this, I have really understood what's essential. Okay. I have been saving a lot. I'm able to go into Target and just walk right past and get to what I got to get to. Because before I would grab everything from the Downy to a bikini in the winter.
First off, Target is not essential. Why are you in Target?
Everything that I need is in Target. I need my gel. I need my snacks. I need my red wine.
Instacart.
Well, yeah, but I also feel like because we've been trapped inside for so long, Target is like me going to the club. I get excited for my trips to Target.
I got you.
You know?
Well, so those are the good things that's been birthed out of it. But I want to get back to what you said about being single and during quarantine.
Yes. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you and your beautiful wife. 12 years of marriage. I think that's
20.
20?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just want to be like you guys when I grow up. It has been very interesting. I have been swiping on Tinder at about 11:30, 11:45 at night, faithfully swiping left and right, locally and nationally.
Tinder, what is Tinder exactly? I've never. What is it? Is that like Black Planet? That's the new version of Black Planet.
Okay, Tinder, for those who don't know, is a dating app. But the thing about Tinder is it has a bad name attached to it. Because they feel like everybody that's on Tinder is basically just trying to fuck. Probably. They probably are. I mean, we can't act like there's not a lot of horny people that are sitting inside of COVID, really struggling right now.
And that's what mammals do, right?
All right, that is exactly what mammals do. But for me, it has been interesting because now we're in this time, if you are single, that you have no choice but to have these deep conversations and really getting to know each other, because we can't just skip that and go straight to like, what's up? You Netflixing and chilling, can I come over? No. What's your COVID-19 results, sir?
Yeah. That is tricky. How do you decide who to spend your time with during COVID? And even if they want to spend time with you during COVID, then you kind of question their character also. So if
like, am I being used? Are you just using me because you're bored? Because I know I've been using a few people because
if they're willing, especially if you just met them and they're willing to compromise their health over kind of Netflix and chilling, that's like a character thing right there, ain't it?
Yes, but I'm also need you to take charge of like your health. So I need you to care just as much as I do.
Got you.
I mean, I think that's sexy.
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh, look at my results. I'm like, okay. Come over.
So we can both agree that there's been ups, goods, and bads to this COVID situation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I definitely agree with that. But shout out to Good Vibrations, because I have stocked up on all my vibrators. So I'm good.
Good, you in there. So look, so we've heard the stories. We've all watched TMZ. We watched, the Shade Room and these different outlets.
Absolutely.
And we've heard some stories about some people not really having as much success quarantined together. There's a dark side to it when you're not getting along.
Yeah, they're like being around someone for too long, you really get to know who that person is.
Give us an example.
Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
Uh-oh.
Can we go into that? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So what's going on there?
Well, allegedly, Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, that amazing Canadian guy, he and Megan Thee Stallion, I guess, were cooped up during this time and were dating. And allegedly, there was an altercation at Kylie Jenner's house where they pretty much left, and one thing led to another. Tory Lanez has a short man's complex, and he allegedly shot Miss Stallion in her foot.
Like gunshots?
Like bang, bang.
Okay.
Get it? Bang, bang.
Wow.
Yes, like bang, bang. And so this right here is just really interesting because we don't know exactly what happened, but that's really intense.
Okay, let's back up a little bit, and I don't want to make light of the situation at all, because it sounds like a serious matter.
Let's hear what
but it sounds very reminiscent of Harlem Nights.
Okay.
So quick.
Okay.
Pinky toe.
Yes.
Is that what we have here, or is this more serious than that?
It's more serious than that. I definitely think it's more serious than that. It's just unfortunate because after this whole incident, I think what I'm more so paying attention to is the fact that there has been so many jokes and memes that have been circulating via social media pertaining to Megan Thee Stallion and her being shot.
Okay.
One from 50 Cent, the asshole that he is, made a joke about it, and Cameron made a joke about it pertaining to Megan Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez probably shot her because she was a transsexual. That is what is going around. And so I think what bothers me as a Black woman is like we don't have the room to be vulnerable, to express our emotions, because there was a statement put out by Megan Thee Stallion, pretty much verbalizing how she felt, how she once again feels as a Black woman. This is not a conversation that we've never had before. Not feeling protected because she's traumatized by this incident, and people are making it as a joke.
Well, that's been an ongoing conversation about how Black women feel unprotected. Can you go into depth a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
As a Black woman, how do you feel about?
I think it's a very true statement. Black women, as we know, are always at the forefront of all the incidents that are going on pertaining to law enforcement, police brutality. We are the ones to stand up for the Black men. We are the ones that are risking our lives at the marches. We are in the forefront of everything, but we don't feel like we get that back from our Black men.
Gotcha.
Because we are looked at as, again, we are strong. Like we always got to be strong. Like we can't be soft and we can't be tired. But that has a lot to do with the slave owners and how they portray Black women as masculine and you know, a little harder than and so we could do more of the manual labor than anyone else.
I find some validity to that, but
Okay.
but does it sound like that's more of a general statement in a sense? When I look at statistically, 70 to 80% of Black men are married to Black women. I could be wrong.
You
Also,
could be wrong. Where you get that stat from?
I could be wrong. My sources.
Oh yeah, because I've been married for
So
20
let's
years.
look
So
at-
let's talk about me.
And so and just when I look at my inner circle,
Yeah.
everybody's, you know, married to a Black woman, and they're great with their kids, great with their families. I'm not anti-interracial dating. You know,
Of course.
I come from the school of you love who you love.
Absolutely agree.
But I think sometimes personal experiences and media kind of tend to generalize. They don't talk about all the Black men that are doing all the great things. They tend to talk about,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean-
you'll see someone like Future in the headlines and whatever his
yeah.
transgressions are and
Yeah.
things of that nature. But
Yeah.
we don't see a lot of the highlighting of what,
Of course
you know, of the Black family.
Absolutely not, and that is on us to change. I'm totally in agreement with that. I mean, media is doing its job.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be highlighted as like well put together and educated. Like we know that much. But it is our job to change that narrative.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, of course, that's why we're here at this podcast to voice those things.
Exactly.
But I can also say as a Black woman who is not married, who is not single, and I think also it's the Black man's responsibility when you're in them circles of friends and homies and they're disrespecting Black women, it's your job to check your friends.
Yeah, but if we're gonna hold the Black man accountable for the things he does wrong, then let's talk about the things he does right as well.
Of course.
Well.
I'm not saying that. We definitely want to acknowledge the right things, but we are definitely gonna say what you're not doing as well.
So we as a whole we got some work to do.
Oh yeah. It's work in progress, all of us.
But a lot of times, if you look at a Russell Wilson, he's looked at as a cornball. Is that?
And you know what? I'm bothered by that. Like I've always looked at the comments and like women saying like, "Oh, he's corny," all of that, and I never understood that. It's like,
Yeah. So what you have is here you have a Black man doing everything he should be doing, highlighting his family, showing expressing love to his wife for his wife publicly, and he's a cornball.
Yeah.
Why?
I honestly, I don't think he's a cornball. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I've been wanting to know what Sierra's prayer has been for a long time. But I also think that it's a lot of women aren't running into those Russells. You know, I don't know if Russell Wilson. Is it Russell Wilson? Wilson. I don't know did he come from a 2-parent household? Did he have his mother and his father? Like a lot of that has a lot to do with how Black men treat Black women. You don't think so? If they don't have no examples?
Well, if that's the case, then the Black man is not the problem.
Then what's the problem?
Maybe his upbringing. So you got to use that both ways, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just this Black man just all of a sudden he's just shit. And he's just treating Black women like whatever. We have to understand this is generational. We have to understand like the reasonings that our Black men are the way that they are is because of what they didn't have access to, what they didn't have experience growing up with, and also what their fathers and mothers had to deal with. You know, so I mean, I'm totally in agreement of that. You know, like recognizing both sides. I'm not just like, oh, Black men ain't shit. Black da-da-da. No, I'm also knowing that my grandfather. You know, I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather, and they've been married for 46 years. So I had a beautiful example of Black love and Black marriage. So what it looks like when a Black man takes care of his family.
And I think it personally bothers me when I see Black men saying that they don't like Black women. When your mother His
I
brother,
don't
his sister?
understand.
I've never understood how. It's one thing thinking it. I can't understand the idea of publicly, openly
Yeah.
saying that. So is that like an identity thing?
That is definitely a very intense, long conversation. But I think like that right there, like you were saying, like I have no issue with who you love is who you love. Black, green, yellow, orange, one leg, two arms. Of course you have two arms, but three arms, whatever it is. But I think it's more so don't down the Black woman to make yourself look better or make this other person from a different race feel more superior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I don't like.
My main thing with that is I just don't want it while we're dealing with that issue of Black women feeling unprotected because those feelings are valid, those ideas are valid, and we see it every day.
Yeah.
I just the same way Black men are portrayed in the media by the media over sensationalizes crime. You know what I mean? And that's those are the pictures that we see out there.
Yeah.
I think we need to highlight the Black men that are doing, phenomenal things
sure.
and doing right by their families and all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think it's changed a lot,
Have
in
an
my
example
opinion.
right
I think
next
it's
to me.
changed a lot, over a lot of years.
Yeah.
People actually fighting, for their families and things of that nature. So I don't know if I know it's a valid point, but I also think it's a little bit the numbers are a little skewed.
It has
because
to
of
be
that.
valid because this isn't just this narrative of like Black women not feeling protected just didn't come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's definitely valid. But also to what you're saying, it's very important to highlight the goods that are going on with our Black men.
So if you're walking down the street and somebody tries to attack you, and you see another Black man
I'm
standing
from East
there.
Oakland, so it's gonna be a problem.
Okay, all right. Well, you're not. Well, you from the suburbs, then. All right. Well, look. So if you're walking down the street and you see another somebody trying to attack you, do you feel confidence if you see a Black man standing there that he'll step in and defend you in that instance, or are you unsure?
I'm unsure.
Why are you unsure?
But also I don't necessarily know if that is because of what I have witnessed, or is it because a lot of times where we are now with social media, no one's helping no one. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to say, will I feel like this Black man won't help me because Black men don't protect Black women? Yeah. Or is it because a lot of times these days people just don't want to get into stuff and they'll just pull out their camera. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. That's really kind of hard to say.
Got you. So that's
I would hope so. I would help him. You know, I'll probably get my ass beat, but I'm still gonna try.
But in general, we gotta have each other's back anyway.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we are all we have, and we definitely need to have each other's back.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I just want to shout out our sponsor for the day, Ike Sandwiches. They got some, if you never tried them, they got some of the best sandwiches around all through the Northern California. They took care of us and the crew today.
Yes.
Also big shout out to everybody that helped us bring this together today. Big Sean Durant done a great job leading the way. My sister LaToya Harris been kind of shadowing him. Hey. LaToya Anthony, I gave you.
Right, get it.
You know what I mean? I got it. And then we got Mike and Ben, the sound guy, and Barbara Drew came through and hooked me up with the nice little taper today. He got me real fresh for the day. We also want to give a big shout out to Evolve down here in Oakland on 17th. They let us use their space today, 23rd actually. They let us use their space to record today, so we appreciate that and everyone else involved.
And shout out to the sponsors and everything once again, because you guys are definitely helping us bring this podcast together. So back to business. I want to ask a question. I reached out to some of my IG followers and I wanted to get a few questions that we can ask on this podcast. And so I want to ask Brownie this question and I will chime in as well.
Shoot.
The question is, how do you compromise in a relationship without losing yourself?
That's an excellent question. And I'm going to give you an answer from experience.
Okay.
The way I see it is, in a relationship, compromise is good. You got to have compromise. But it has to be balanced. You don't want to have more compromise than compatibility.
Right.
And so what happens is people find out that they're just not very compatible.
Yeah.
And so they end up having 70% compromise, 30% compatibility. And that's where the issue is. So the more you start to compromise, the more you start to lose yourself. It's inevitable. And then you end up just resenting the person.
And then you just end up leaving, right?
What's that?
And then you just end up leaving.
And then you just end up leaving.
Taking the babies and you out.
Yeah. So now, although I do agree that opposites attract, you can grow together.
Yeah.
But I mean, y'all gotta at least like the same cereal.
Do we?
Or something. It gotta be something there. Like you like Jordan 1s together, something. Y'all both like.
Okay, so you're saying that there's something that you guys have to like together.
There has to be some type of compatibility.
Okay, I got an example. What if you are a going out person and your partner is not a going out person? And your partner wants you to go out with them a few times a month, but you don't want to. How do you balance that?
I think that makes it exciting, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because if your partner doesn't go out as much, now it all depends. If they don't go out as much, and then when you want to go out, they're like, no, I don't want to go. You just go by yourself. Over time, that could wear on you.
That happened to me.
Yeah, but if you go out and your partner doesn't, it makes it more exciting when you do get them, when you do get your partner out, because you get to show her all these new things. And I think that's the good part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely experienced that and lived that. I was in a relationship where my partner was an introvert completely. And if you know me, I'm like an ambivert. I'm introverted, extroverted type of person now. But back in the day, I was a party promoter, and I just always had to be out, especially with what I do and for my brand. Exactly. My partner hated going out, all of that. But what sucked was I met my partner in the club. And my partner stopped getting dressed, stopped doing all those things. And so I would continue to ask my partner, like, all right, like, I just have to go to this one place real quick. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a turn up person like that, but I still needed to go show face. Yeah. And my partner would deny it every time. And that definitely got boring, and we broke up.
Gotcha. I think
I don't have to beg you.
Yeah, I think and a lot of people get caught up in is it astrology, like the signs?
Yeah.
Those things, and some of that stuff. Some of those stuff it is real. It's eerie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of it be
What's your sign?
Spot on. I'm a Sagittarius. That's pretty much right. The number one sign, the Sagittarius.
All Capricorn. What do you mean?
All the great.
I'm gonna let you have your little fake moment right now. Go ahead.
Capricorns, I know them to be a little on the Mimi side, a little selfish.
What?
And another thing I noticed about Capricorns.
What?
Capricorns love the result of shit. They don't necessarily enjoy the grind. Capricorns love to like. They love to see the house built fully furnished, but they don't want to show up when they lay in the cement or drawing up the blueprints and all that stuff. They just want to
flip this table over.
the grind. So you said, am I wrong?
You're talking to someone who that's my life, grinding and hustling and building things from the bottom up.
Well, but no, having to grind is one thing. Enjoying the grind. Do you find pleasure in the grind?
Does anyone enjoy the grind?
Absolutely.
So
the process. You gotta know the process.
Okay, it's one thing to have to do the process to get there. We have to do it, right?
Yep.
We can't try to rush anything, but do you enjoy the pain, the grind, the inconsistencies? You enjoy that?
I think somewhat. I think the process. In order for, I'm a big passion over paycheck guy, right?
Yeah, me too.
I don't do anything. My business partner's been talking to me about insurance deals. He's been doing excellent at it. I just cannot bring myself to do anything that I'm really not passionate about, regardless of the money it makes.
Of course.
So usually I tend to do things that spark interest, that I feel real passionate about.
Yeah.
So that whole process, as a barber, cutting hair. The process of late nights watching YouTube videos, researching new equipment, all that stuff, the groundwork, that whole grind was what helped get me loving that. I feel contributed to me accomplishing all the things I've done in that industry.
Okay, so I think that you love it now because you've already gotten through that.
No, I loved it. I loved it then. I was like the first person to the barbershop that last one to leave. I loved it then.
I mean, I can't personally say that you didn't like it or love it. I just know that, I mean, the end result and the reward is what makes me enjoy the process. But going through the ups and downs, no, I don't enjoy it, but I do it because it's my passion.
A Capricorn.
And I do it because
it's Capricorn. You just so we're on the same page.
No, you're saying like we just want it done and enjoying everything that's inside. You don't want to go. I don't feel like anybody wants to go through that. You think people want to actually sit there and struggle and have $0 in their bank account?
Okay.
And
you don't
I'm
think
ambitious. I'm a hustler at the end of the day. I'm gonna get it done. But if I could skip a million steps to get to where I need to get to.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane to me. So
hold
on. So you really, Miss Bang, you really didn't think
what
Kobe Bryant enjoyed those jump shots at practice in the gym? So you don't think
he had to,
I think he enjoyed that more than the game.
He had to do it to get to where he had to get to.
So you don't think he enjoyed it?
I mean,
Capricorn. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think I only enjoy it after I see
the result. back. So I think we found some clarity there.
Fine. You worded it wrong, anyways.
But anyway, like we said, you have to have compatibility. Yeah. I think there has to be a healthy balance. I think also, I don't know if compatibility can carry you. So I think sometimes people OD when they meet someone, they OD and they're like, oh my God, we finish each other's sentences. And it's just like, whatever. That I think we OD on that. And then when that burns out, it's kind of, so I feel like it has to be balanced on both ends.
Yeah. Like I would, there are some things I would like to be compatible with my partner, but having some things that are different, absolutely. I think that's what makes the relationship exciting. If we're just, we finish each other's sentences like you said, and we enjoy the same cereal and we enjoy the same walks in the park, and I think that would get very repetitive and boring. Yeah. So, show me something new.
I think me and my wife, we are like probably like 60-40, and what I say about that is like probably 60 compromise, 40% probably compatibility, cool, which I think is a very good ratio. But it's exciting also because she kind of offsets me. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like, let's go with the flow. I'm with it. She's kind of like got the Hawkeyes in them. She's a Cancer, so she kind of got the Hawkeyes in the back, like watching. Yeah. And usually sometimes she tells me like, watch out for that person. I'll be like, you full of shit. Get out of here. Then months go by and she's absolutely right. Then I got to go back and tell her she was right. Yeah. But that's why I think it's exciting when you have like a healthy balance. In that. So I don't think you want to be too far on either end. So, but
I'm in total agreement on that one.
And if you guys have any responses or questions that you want to add to that, please send that to oneagainstthegrain@gmail.com. No, that's One Against the Grain podcast @gmail.com or
at Shayla Bang 1. You can DM me some of your questions or
at Brownie _Blendz. There's only one Brownie _Blendz, BLENDZ.
The right one. Okay, so we talked about compromising. We talked about compatibility. And overall, this whole podcast is about the COVID craze. So just recently, I can't say that I'm a huge sports person, even though I played basketball and all that till I was like 23. But I think I'm more so one of those people that like to actually participate in it opposed to watch it. Now, as a grown woman, I watch it for other reasons. And but
that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
anyways, so and I know, Brownie, you are a huge sports fanatic fan, and a lot of your clients are in the industry. But let's talk about this NBA bubble. I've heard a little bit about it. It's so interesting. And tell me about it. Teach me about it.
The NBA bubble is, I guess it's the NBA's way of trying to finish this season during the COVID craze. Because obviously there must be a ton of money on the line.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It must be
NBA.
It must be millions at stake for them to put this together.
Of course.
So what happens is the NBA decides to go to Orlando.
Okay.
And when they say bubble, I think we can all imagine what a bubble means. This
radius,
trap everybody in.
Yeah.
Once you're in there, there's one way in, no way out until the bubble bursts, until it's over with.
Yeah.
But what happens is now you got to eat there, sleep there. There's no clubs in the bubble.
Yeah.
There's no
so the lifestyle that the players were used to.
Yeah.
I can only imagine coming in as a rookie. Like, you have your idea of like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to the NBA, I'm excited, like, all this money, these chicks, bottles popping, and having to go into it like this. And even people maybe who have been in the league for maybe even still fresh and used to that type of lifestyle, but still trying to control themselves and stay within that space.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this is completing the end of the season. So we're away from like draft day and those things. So the mindset is going to be different for some guys, because going into this bubble, they're just happy to be back at work.
True.
You know what I mean? There's only a certain percentage of athletes that are $100 million guys.
Yeah.
The rest of them are just happy to be at work. So the mindset is different. But with that said, there is like, athletes are creatures of habit. You know what I mean? They're used to routine things, and they like their personal time. You know what I mean? They like to hang out. They like to spend money, go to nice restaurants, do things like that. Now you kind of have a menu you're you know what I mean, that you ordering off of. You somebody's dropping it off to your door. You can't really get around like you want to. So it has to be a little bit of culture shock. You know what I mean? And also coming off of, the world's been kind of shut down for the prior 4 months. So, going into something like that, it's like going from lockdown to lockdown. Now, this is like not your regular inmate being locked up away in jail. This is more like El Chapo style locked up. They probably got everything they want, but
it's probably similar to maybe like a naval base or Air Force base or something like that, how they have everything. Like, if you went up to Travis, they have grocery stores, they have retail stores, they have everything within, and it's huge. Yeah. So it's probably something similar to like that.
Yeah. I just don't know how much moving around is going on. They do one interesting thing is they built it's been all in the news. They built a pop-up barbershop there. Okay. So they got 6 barbers. And for what I understand,
they're missing one.
For what I had this,
they're missing one. They don't want those blends. They don't want those blends.
But for what I understand, they have everybody's tested. Okay. In and out. Okay. You have to stay for 3 to possibly 4 months.
Oh, wow. And you can't get no visitors coming in, like family, no kids, no nothing.
No visitors, no family, no kids, no nothing. I think it's just you're stuck in the NBA bubble. Oh. But we got to get this money by any means. We got to finish this season off.
Yeah, you have just taught me some things, and it sounds very interesting, but I'm also like, well, do you want them $1 million contracts, 500,000 contracts? I'll be in the bubble. Like, what you need? Cross over a few. Like, whatever you need, I'm gonna do it. But with that restriction, there was also I saw on social media about one of the players that actually stepped out and did his own thing and wanted to see a few ass shakings. Allegedly.
I don't know the details of that situation.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, that individual had the league's approval to leave. Now, I think I read something where they're investigating that situation on what transpired once he left. But I can imagine. I mean, you live in a world where everything's at your fingertips, and then it's probably the closest you'll ever be to being confined and locked up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, and it could definitely drive you crazy, because I know through this a lot of the extroverted people were like, I need to get out. I just need to get around people. I don't care what it is. I need to go to the lake. I need to do like this. I can't, like, humans aren't used to not having human to human contact.
But let's not get it. Yeah, but you're right. But let's not get it twisted. You know, there's people out here without jobs. There's people. When they put in these stay-at-home measures, they said they called it safer at home measures. Well, some people's homes is underneath a bridge structure.
Of course.
So, we got a large homeless population in California.
We have a huge...
Unemployment's supposed to end this month, and they're saying that they're supposed to extend it, for a lot of people. And I mean, kind of hard to complain. You know what I mean?
That's what I was like. I totally agree.
In those situations,
it's definitely hard to complain because, like you said, the situations and living situations for a lot of these people are different. Not even necessarily saying they are going to somewhere where it could be them in a box, but abusive situations, and having to deal with that, having to work. It's a lot of things that are going on behind closed doors that we don't know about. So I definitely am not really showing, like, I don't feel bad for them. Either way, I'm sure.
Look, we got sports back. That's all I give a fuck about. We got some sport. We got
ladies, your time is up. You had his attention.
But what I don't like is the fanless basket. That just doesn't work for me. I seen how they use like the paper mache fans out there.
At the baseball.
Baseball. It's
kind of eerie.
I can't. Part of playing sports is the energy,
the adrenaline,
adrenaline rush. When you in elementary school and you get to junior high school and you playing basketball with your friends, and then the girl you like walk up, and then all of a sudden you got a little extra pep in your step in that little crossover. I genuinely think that's what fans bring to the game. So without that, I think it's like no matter what they call it, it's gonna be a scrimmage until they. It's gonna be a scrimmage until they hand LeBron the trophy. That's about. Right?
You threw that in there.
I mean, that's pretty much. That's kind of what we're looking at.
It's okay. But no, I totally agree with that because them just being on the court, it's like you want to show off. You know what I mean? You want to show off your skills. You want to get that reaction after you just cross somebody over. You just dunked, but just doing that in an arena with no one in there.
Yeah. And these are
some sound effects that they'll play on, on the loudspeaker that'll make it seem like the fans are roaring. I'm just trying to add some extra stuff in there, but I can only imagine how they won't be playing for real, because a lot of them people, a lot of the athletes are friends, and so I just feel like it just won't be as serious.
Okay, well that's what we defer.
Okay, fine.
Okay, because. You don't get to that level, friends or not. You don't get to that level without being a competitor. A competitor.
Yeah, I'm not taking that
These guys will slit your throat over dominoes.
I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying I feel like they won't put as much effort on the court as they would stands of 20,000
That's true.
People.
That's true. That's true. But they're gonna have to lose themselves in it. Once you get caught up in the competitiveness of it, I think you'll get some exciting basketball. Definitely not the level of play when you got 30,000 screaming fans at Oracle. Notice I said Oracle. You know what I mean? It was different. Or, you got Madison Square Garden and places like that where the fans go crazy. So I definitely think there'll be a drop, off. But not much to complain about.
No, again, not much to complain about because while you're playing amongst each other, you are going to go cash that $50,000 a day check, whatever it is. No complaints. Don't feel bad for you whatsoever.
What about football season? That's directly on the horizon.
What about football season?
I mean, the Raiders in Las Vegas. We got there's a lot going on. Pat Mahomes just got a $500 million. That's insane.
Tell me, game me up. I'm here to add the extra entertainment of the sport. So I will tell you who's dating who looks good in what, whose muscles is popping a little bit more than others.
And I think you represent 70% of the female population right now with that. So, but
yes, go Raiders.
But football season is around the corner.
Yeah.
I just think people
That'd
are
be
looking. I just think people are looking for some sense of normalcy. You know, like something that looks like 2019. You know what I mean? Because 2020 and my resolution was cold when 2019 ended, and my resolution was lit. Guy had other plans.
Yeah, I mean, God had other plans, and look where we're here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like you definitely have to humble yourself and find the beauty in it all. And I can also say when you talk about football, because I know how intense the Raiders Nation is, and I know so many people that were ready to catch that flight to Vegas. So I can only imagine the hurt and the pain that they are going through right now.
They're going through, but I think overall, I think it's going to be a good situation. I got a lot of good friends over in that organization, past and present. My sister used to be a Raider. You understand that Raider stuff, it's like dear, you know what I'm saying, to me.
Course.
I was the guy, literally. That's why this podcast is so ironic. But I used to be the guy years ago, before I even started working in the sports industry. I was the guy that was calling, like the nerd dude, calling the radio station that night, because I used to listen to guys you probably know you never heard of, Pigskin Pete, JT the Brick. These guys used to be on like your local radio station. I'd be the guy calling from my car just to talk Raider, like the Raiders suck. Like why we need to trade this. That was me. I went from that to seeing my sister on the sidelines cheering for the Raiders. So that was like dope. You know,
Heck I know that
she never put me on when I told her to solicit some haircuts for me. She did, but I put it in the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put it in the universe, and
that's cool.
I ended up going that route anyway, and because I used to call the radio. It's ironic. I used to call the radio stations all the time. And then those same radio stations I call, I've been guests on all those radio stations. So that's how the universe works. And it's been, you know what I mean? And now I'm here with Shayla Bang doing a podcast. So it's right up my alley.
I never called a sports station or radio station, but I did used to call Cindy and Night Dog on
Oh my
Sophie.
goodness. Oh, Sophie. Look.
That was just a little town nostalgia right there. So
most of our listeners have no idea what Sophie is. Can you please game them on Sophie?
So beat and then TV network number one.
What's the Sobe age cutoff?
I would say the youngest?
Yes.
I would say 35.
They will be 30.
I don't feel like no 30-year-olds would know about Sobe. I feel like 35 and up. 35 and up.
35 and up would know about Sobe. Mm-hmm. That was back when we had this thing called the jukebox, when videos were really big.
The jukebox.
We could get on the phone and we could order when videos were big. Now now videos are like $100 a piece, because you could just. Back then, it was hard to get a video done.
Yeah, like you would go home after school and type in on the box whether it was Humpty Dance or Nothing Like the Town by Baby Ray, whatever it was.
Yeah, now everybody's shooting video, but there is a big lapse in quality of videos now compared to quality has gotten better, but it's so over flooded because everybody is trying to everybody's trying to do it.
Visuals are everything.
Visuals are everything, and everybody wants it.
Everybody wants it. So
but we grew up on Sobe.
We grew up on Sobe. So for our listeners who don't know, just Google Sobe and you will see how beautifully ancient it is, but it is our childhood. Night Dog was everything, and Night Dog was basically like this older man. He was homeless. Mm-hmm. Night Dog was homeless.
Was Night Dog homeless?
He was homeless. I would always see him at the bus stop just sleeping.
Wow, that's real deep East Oakland knowledge.
But he had a job. I mean, but a lot of people these days today are homeless and you don't even know because they can't afford the expensive rent that out here. So, but Night Dog definitely was homeless, and I remember he didn't have no teeth.
Yeah. Wow.
He didn't have no teeth, and the story was, I think Cindy, was it Cindy or Chauncey Bailey? Remember Chauncey Bailey?
Chauncey Bailey.
Remember Chauncey Bailey? Y'all remember Chauncey Bailey? You remember Chauncey Bailey?
I'm drawing.
Okay. You ain't real Oakland, no. You ain't real Oakland. Oh, no, but they gave him a job, basically. And so Night Dog was just this OG man. He probably was like 50-something years old while we were like 17.
He was on Sobe?
Yes. You would call him like, this Night Dog.
I remember Night Dog. I remember Al Ballard. I remember not Al Ballard was the original. When did Chauncey Bailey come into the
Chauncey Bailey did the news.
news?
Yes.
Okay, Al Ballard was the guy.
Who was that?
You ain't real Oakland. How's you so Oakland and you don't know who Al Ballard is?
I'm just playing. I'm just
No,
playing.
you ain't. No, you. All right, look. If y'all want to take a tour through East Oakland, a nice little tourist attraction.
Okay.
Take Edwards Ave, go down the hill, take a ride on 73rd. Look to your left. That's the Soulby building right there. That's where I learned how to swim at. They used to have a swimming pool in that building.
They did used to have a swimming pool there.
They had a swimming pool there.
They did used to have a swimming pool
right
there.
across the street from East Mall.
My friends and I, we did a talent show on Soulby.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We danced to Escape.
Did y'all wear polka dot t-shirts?
We had overalls on, cross colors. It was cute. But anyways, we just had to, I think during this podcast and as we go forward, we're just always gonna have our moments of nostalgia because that's just
when you've been in a city, it's gonna be a struggle for us.
Have you ever left?
It's gonna be never left.
Okay, I moved away 4 times.
Really?
Uh-huh.
To where?
I moved to Atlanta, Chicago, Baton Rouge, and Charlotte.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you've been in a matter of like what, 10 years span?
Yes. The first time I moved, 20, a little over. I moved away first time 25. So
I mean the furthest I'm in the valley now, so that's Tracy area. So that's the furthest I went. You know what I mean? That's the furthest I went.
But it's 120 degrees all the time?
No, it's not that
high.
It's 119. But it is.
Brownie's
hot.
really light skinned like me, you guys. He just lives in the valley.
But that was the way getting away from these expensive. Once I started a family, getting away from these expensive real estate prices. So we went out that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A
lot of people are.
But it's gonna be a struggle for us to like realize that all our listeners won't be from the Bay Area. It's gonna be a struggle.
And teach
I know, but it's gonna be a struggle for us to not want to talk about Oakland because we got so many memories in the town.
Oakland is the shit.
Yeah.
People want to come here.
What elementary school you went to?
I went to St. Elizabeth. I went to Manzanita.
Okay.
Then I went to St. Elizabeth, and then I went to St. Elizabeth High School. Then I graduated from Skyline.
Okay, so I went to St. Elizabeth.
You was
Yes, fourth grade. I went to St. Elizabeth. 1 year though.
Oh,
1 year they was like, get this nigga out of here. Look, I was a very smart kid.
Okay.
I was just lazy in school.
Okay,
I didn't really.
Your mom was like, I'm not this tuition.
Yeah,
I'm not paying this.
She tried. I love you, mom. She tried.
Yeah.
But it just. I mean, I was up there forging progress reports and all kind of shit. It just did.
Yeah, I was bad.
It just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? But I went from there to. I went to Parker. I stayed on 79th and Ritchie Street. That's deep. They don't get no more deep East Oakland than that, right? And I moved to 35th for my high school years. Then I spent a lot of time on 98th Ave with my cousin Hassani. Y'all know Sonny Bo.
Okay,
spent a lot of time. That's where my aunt lives. So I would be over there on the weekends. I'd be on 35th during the week. Then I went to Skyline. That's how I became a player.
Okay.
Skyline.
That's how he became a player.
Before I tied the knot.
Before you tied the knot. Yeah, throw that in there. Before I tied the knot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shout out to Skyline. I mean, can't help it. But this has been a great first day, first time, everything. Like this initial everything has just been cool. And so I'm happy to just even like say that we completed this.
Yeah,
How do you feel?
I feel great to get the first one under the belt. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that our listeners and people vibe with us and grow with us and, you know what I mean, critique us and give us their feedback, their interaction. We're going to need all that good stuff.
We're going to need
because we're not going nowhere. We
are here. Like, for real. We're not going nowhere. So
I got one more person I want to shout out. I forgot to shout out.
Please.
I forgot to shout out the lovely Michaela.
Oh yes, Michaela.
She helped put a lot of this stuff together from behind the scenes. She's way out in Charlotte right now working.
Oh, is that what she is?
Yeah, she works in Charlotte, so she does everything remotely.
Okay.
But thanks to her for coordinating, a lot of this stuff.
Who put that sharp line in your head?
Barbara Drewski. Barbara Drew. That's my dog. Can I give y'all an interesting story about Barbara Drew? Interesting story.
Yes.
So I have a barbershop in Tracy.
Okay.
As well as Oakland.
Yes.
As well as Stockton.
Okay.
You want me to keep going?
Yes.
All right, whatever. I'm flexing.
Yes.
But look, Barbara Drew, I was online because I'm a big advocate of like developmental stuff.
Yeah.
So I was the type that would like not necessarily search for licensed barbers. I wanted to search for guys who, you know, were entry level into the game.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine sent me a DM of this barber. I seen a friend of mine post something and I saw him cutting him. He was in the garage. I said, man, he was young. I said, man, he got skills. He shouldn't be in the garage. I said, I need to let me reach out to him. So I reached out to him. I said, bro, you want to be a professional? He's like, shit, I'm on whatever you want to do. That's his attitude, right? He said, let's do it.
That means let's do it. Yeah.
So I set up a meeting with him. As he came to the shop, he liked it. We put him through the apprentice program. The rest is the history. To me, he's one of the best in the game.
That's
I mean, I argue with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I go head to head with anybody, guy. You know, and I feel like I'm one of the best in the game. But Barber Drew got this touch that's crazy to me, and I love it.
Barber Drew.
And so he been rocking with me.
I might need you to get in his bag.
I've been rocking with Drew. Whenever I got something big, he's actually a brand ambassador of our hair product, Royal Finish, the men's grooming products. He's pushing that. He hasn't posted anything lately, but he is our brand ambassador. So we got to get active.
Sure, he'll post something tonight.
And we gonna get some movement with that. You know what I mean? And also want to shout out my business partner Joseph Cannon, sitting somewhere at home, getting some money. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, who you got? What's up with So Oakland? What's up with your? You got a makeup line, accessory line? What you got going?
I don't.
Talk to the people. Tell them what you got going.
Well, you know, I've just been working on So Oakland and growing that and trying to help my community. I raised $300,000 to give back to small Black businesses in Oakland. So I just been able to distribute those funds because a lot of these individuals that have been applying for these loans, these small businesses aren't getting the responses or the money that they need and are forced to shut down. And small businesses, Black businesses are the heart of our communities. And so whatever I can do to assist them, that's what I'm doing. So usually around this time, I'll be throwing a festival August 2nd to celebrate So Oakland Day, which is proclamated by the mayor. So it's officially Oakland Day, July 30th.
I've seen that shit go crazy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you guys post parties at this spot called, you call it the Compound, right?
Oh, that was the beginning on 35th and School Street.
Right on 35th and School
5
Street,
years
right
ago.
there, right?
Yep.
Then Cuzzo told me one time about a party that was going on in West Oakland.
Yeah, 7th Street.
7th Street.
Or was it at
No, it wasn't 7th Street.
Regular only. I mean, was it at the regulars only spot?
It was outside.
Across the street from the bar? 7th Street.
7th Street. So then next thing I know, I look up and it's a fucking festival.
Yeah.
Like, how did you pull that off?
I just knew that it was something that I always wanted to do. I mean, we grew up in the time of Festival at the Lake. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think during those times, it was just like Black families. It was just such a dope feeling. And so I think the whole thing, but I know for me, the whole thing behind So Oakland was creating just nostalgia, creating memories. And we can't bring back the 90s, but it's the feels that I wanted to hold on to. So I knew that with the mayor giving me So Oakland Day and giving me this proclamation, I just didn't want it to sit there like, oh, it's July 30th, it's So Oakland Day. I was like, I want to create legacy and have something that's forever going and growing into something that everybody could attend and go to. So that's where So Oakland Day Fest started. And so to hit 5 years on Thursday is a blessing. And then also just building my Bang brand and just trying to be, town business, the ultimate hustler.
Town big, and it's still growing.
And it's still growing. The partnerships have grown. And I know next week we're giving away $5,000, $1,000 to 5 families during this time just to assist with bills, whatever it is. So I'm okay with COVID being the way that it is right now because it's pausing the actual having to throw events. And so I'm able to focus on like community efforts that I've always wanted to put my energy into.
Got you. That's dope. Well, it's only finna get better.
It's only, yes. I don't think nothing less. I always think up.
One against the grain is here to stay.
We're here to stay.
I also want to give a special shout out. I don't know if I said early to our sound guy at Cruise Control. His name is Ben. That's another ironic story.
Okay, tell me that story.
of course, most people know I've been a part of LeBron James' show, The Shop by Uninterrupted on HBO. Y'all check that out. It's still streaming right now. That's The Shop, HBO, on demand. Check it out. Ben happened to be working for Uninterrupted, and I had no idea. He was actually, doing some engineering
Look
for
at
them.
that. You never know.
So it's dope that he's helping us out on our podcast
Heck
today. So
yeah.
shout out to at Cruise Control, dope personality. I'm glad to have him around. We're gonna keep growing. With this
We're going to keep
Yep.
growing. Shout out to my future man, if you out there. Can't wait to come home to you.
So I think that's it for the first episode of One Against the Grain.
it.
We hope y'all liked it.
We hope
I'm
you
Brownie
liked
Blendz,
it.
and you.
I am Shayla Bang. Make sure you follow me at Shayla Bang 1 on Instagram. And what is your IG again?
At Brownie_Blendz.
And we will continue to bring you everything against the grain.
Peace.
Peace.